Thought you was without a doubt. Everybody's pissed. Nobody's tripping. It's like you crazy. Everybody's tripping. It's like so crazy. Running up because you on the right side. It's on you to pretend. It's an open ball. Another gun you call. It's a future. It's a no deal. No cover. It's nothing. But it's a project to talk because we don't really care. It's like your boss. The shit is the myth. It was a bizarre town. I feel a little something like this. Hit it. At some point, you will be offended by something said on this show. But playing devil's advocate is meant to be a source for open, honest, and more importantly, judgment-free dialogue. The opinions expressed here may not necessarily be those of the host or the show in general, but we're willing to have the uncomfortable conversations so that we can heal and find solutions for our listeners and quite possibly even ourselves. Enjoy the show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Playing Devil's Advocate. I am your host, Miss KiKi, the consummate provocateur, and for the next 120 minutes, we are going to edutain you. That means for the next 2 hours, you are going to be educated and entertained. I think the emphasis might be on entertainment tonight, but we shall see. Anything can happen. For those of you guys who just may be joining us, I need to do some light housekeeping before we can get into the show, and then all systems are go. If you are just joining us, we are here each and every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. on the East Coast. If you missed a live broadcast of the show, you can always go to the iTunes store and type in our name, Playing Devil's Advocate. Subscribe to our podcast and get an episode uploaded every time we do one. And while you're there in the iTunes store, if you type in my name, KiKi Richardson, and download yourself a copy of my book, The Other Woman Code of Conduct, What Every Other Woman Should Know, and Men Too, that would be great as well. So make sure if you don't have access to the iTunes store, you don't have to feel left out. You can always go to KiKiRichardson.com, and there you will be able to listen to any of the archive shows, purchase merchandise, purchase a copy of my book. You'll be able to find out about the guests on the show, other hosts on the show, right there on KiKiRichardson.com. Just so you know, we are tweeting in real time. We're doing everything. We're interactive completely. So if you haven't followed us on Twitter at PDA_Miss KiKi, do it right now. And make sure you send your comments. We'll get them on air. Or you can post our Facebook wall at facebook.com/Playing Devil's Advocate, and we'll get your comment. Or you can give us a call, 347-237-5271. Don't forget to press 1 so that we know you're in the queue and you have something you would like to share with us, and we'll get your comment on air as soon as time permits. So there you have all the ways you can get in touch with us. If you are watching, if you are listening to us on our Blog Talk Radio show page, you can always scroll on down to the bottom, and you can see that there's the interactive chat room, and there you will be able to participate in our conversation, and everything will be all good there. Let's see what else you can do. Oh, we're streaming live on YouTube via Google Hangouts. So if you want to watch the shenanigans that happen backstage, you can by going to our YouTube channel, which is on YouTube, of course, and you can find it at youtube.com/Playing Devil's Advocate, and advocate is spelled ADVOC and the number 8. All right, so those are all the ways you can get in touch with us. While we're doing all of that, I need to go ahead and bring in my cast of characters that ride shotgun with me each and every week. And this week is no different than the other ones. I need to find them. I know they're hanging out somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the fallen angel of the show. She coined phrases like lube is for amateurs. So that should already tell you what kind of angel she is not, but it's still her name. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Miss Sporty, Spunky, Angel. up, girlie?
Hello. Hey, what's going on, girl?
Man, oh man, you will never know. I'm gonna bring in your partner in crime in just a second. But for those of you guys who are
Mm-hmm.
watching us on the stream, I just want to say y'all probably like, KiKi, where the heck are you? You're not in your normal position. Well, like I told y'all, the air went out in the studio and I couldn't take it anymore. I could not be a puddle of chocolate. So y'all might hear some unnecessary and unusual noises throughout the broadcast. You might hear the dog barking. You might hear people talking. I really don't give a rip, but that's the way it's going. I'm not going to melt. So, ladies and gentlemen, he likes to think of himself as a pimp.
Mm.
Yeah, I said he likes to think of himself as a pimp. We call him a simp. He refers to himself as slap, something like a pimp, but I ain't buying it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Mr. Andreas. I think I'm something like a pimp, Ferguson. What's going on, man? I don't know if they made it for you or as a result of you. But nonetheless, welcome back for another week. Tonight's show is an open forum. We haven't done an open forum in a long time, and that's when we turn over the controls to our listeners, and they pick out the subject that we're going to talk about. We kind of zeroed it in. Normally, it's just kind of like a free-for-all. You can talk about anything you want to, but this particular week, we are doing an emphasis on sports and entertainment. So we will be talking about things that are sports-related and entertainment-related for this week's show. And like I said, if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can send us a tweet at PDA_Miss KiKi. You can post to our Facebook wall at facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate. You can even go on Blog Talk Radio, scroll down and be a part of our interactive chat room, and or you can watch us on YouTube via Google Hangouts. So there's so many ways that you can enjoy this show. There is no reason why you shouldn't be able to be a part of this conversation tonight. And like I said, we're going to talk about sports and entertainment. So there's been, you know how we always joke and say the universe always sends us stuff for our subjects?
I don't be joking.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Okay, I'm like, hello? Is this thing working? What the hell is wrong with you? Yeah, I can hear
Girl, I
you.
don't be joking.
Okay.
It's the real
Yeah,
deal.
so it's definitely, yeah, it definitely. And I know everybody I'm going to start out with sports because that's who I am. That's what I do, right? It would not be right if I did not. So let me tell y'all something. Back, let's see here. Last Thursday, as a matter of fact, I don't know if y'all not a part of our sports group on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook. Shame on you because you missed a lot of interesting information. I typically get a lot of information ahead of time before it breaks to everybody else. So last week on Instagram, if you're a football fan, y'all know him as Shady, but LaShawn McCoy posted a party. He posted an invite on his on his Instagram page. Now, whether it was him or not, I don't know, but it is his official Instagram page. So I'll put that disclaimer out there. But on this invite for this quote-unquote private party that they were having, they were trying to get people to be, to come to the party. No problem. It's a party, right? That's what you want people to do. You put it out on social media, and people come to be a part of your conversation. I mean, about your show, right? Or your party,
Right.
or whatever it is that you put out there on Instagram. Well, let's say this here. LaShawn took it a little bit further. What he did was he posted it with the logo from the Buffalo Bills or whatever. So first thing wrong with this situation is that he didn't even get approval to use the logo. You have to get team approval before you can use any of the logos. But whatever, he's on this logo inviting people to the party. Now, here are the requirements to come to this party. 1, females only. 2, 21 or older. 3, you have to submit a photo. 4, you need to submit all your social media profile links. And 5, you must sign a confidentiality agreement. My initial response was, really, LaShawn? Really? Nothing good could come from this, whether you sign a confidentiality agreement or not. Because if a crime is being committed, that's not a legally binding agreement. So if somebody gets raped, drugged, somebody get Bill Cosby or Darren Sharper, depending on how you want to look at it, right? Or get Darren Sharper, however you want to look at it, right? Or somebody happens to have a fake ID and she comes in there and she gets drunk and dies and, falls in the pool or whatever happens. Nothing good can come from having a female-only party.
No.
What the hell's happening at your party? It's like, what's the hell happening at this party that we need to sign a confidentiality agreement?
I want to know who going. Who going to go through all of that and go? That's what tripped me out when I saw it. I was like,
please,
really?
These little young gold digging, I'm trying to be in, will do it. They will submit it. Hell, they asses hanging out on Instagram anyway. Why wouldn't they submit? My thing is, you don't do it. Right, the party was scheduled for like Sunday of last week, right? Right, so the invite went on Thursday, and it was scheduled for Sunday. But training camp starts this week. Really? That's how you want to go?
Which is also a no-no.
Exactly. I know you want to have your last hurrah before you go into training camp, because I know training camp sucks. But the reality of the situation is, dude, you've been in this league long enough to know that nothing good can come from that. Now, I can understand if you having a regular party and you require people to sign confidentiality agreements, or no social media agreements so that they can't stream or post or do any of that stuff during your party to let things out. I can understand that. But to say females only 21 and over, you have to submit a picture, you have to submit your social media profiles, and you have to sign a confidentiality agreement. I just want to know when we got to the point where we post orgies on social media. I'm going to direct that question.
That's exactly what I'm wondering.
I'm going to direct that to our resident slap, something like a pimp. Andreas, is that what's going on now? You post orgies online now?
If I could, I would. But I'm just that kind of guy. I mean, I'd have one of those lapel cameras or something that somebody can't see. One of those cameras. They got the cameras that you can fit in your eyeglasses now, right?
Those Google Glass ones. Okay, yes, first of all,
get paid.
Nobody's talking about you being a damn pervert. Now,
if it ain't nothing going on at the party, I can't be a pervert.
You ain't invited. It's women only, dude. They're only women. You're not invited unless you're one of Shady's friends that are automatically invited because you're part of the entourage. You ain't even invited.
Well, if I dress up like Birdman, I can come in, right?
Anyway. Anyway, speaking of the confidentiality. Yeah, whatever. Speaking of the confidentiality, right? And with the advent of social media, there are going to be some people who tweet stuff and Instagram stuff and Facebook stuff and all that other stuff. And based on how we get down lately, we Periscope. Right. I'm sure somebody's going to be upset with Periscope at some point because just way too much information is getting. I know I would. If I was having a private event or something, I wouldn't want everybody Periscope. I mean, you're going to have to sign an agreement.
Well, that's one of the, big things now that's in the news, because just as fast as Periscope has taken the stage and has become so super popular, especially among the entertainment and sports world, people are now breaking copyright infringement by, playing certain music on Periscope.
Can you hear her?
By streaming. One of the big things is they streamed the premiere of a TV show, a cable show, live on Periscope, and everybody got to see it for free. So cable companies had problems with that. So now it
The
tells
cable
you
company or the network?
the network. Well, the network. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, the network has a problem with like HBO, Showtime, or they have a problem with their shows being streamed live. When it's supposed to be paid for by subscription. And
Right.
the big thing that they're saying is that, the fight they're having is Periscope, like Twitter and any other social media, they have disclaimers in their terms of, usage. Don't put up anything that's not your property or your intellectual property. That's already in the fine print. So
Mhm.
they feel like, it's already covered. But that doesn't stop people from putting out the information, or doing things. I think a lot of people are probably doing it unconsciously and not realizing that that's what they're doing, because if somebody's, with the way Periscope is, you can talk and do about any and everything on your scope. So if you're
Yeah.
playing somebody's music or,
Right. I think because if I'm in a club, right, and there's music being playing, even though I didn't
mm-hmm,
pay for clearance for that song to be playing in the background, I mean, it doesn't necessarily make me mean that I'm infringing on their copyright in some sense. So for the
right.
networks to kind of not see this and have an expectation that people, now I can understand if I'm sitting on Periscope and say I'm watching the fight, right, and it's pay-per-view, and say for instance I literally got my camera set up in front of my TV and I'm streaming everything, the fight that I'm watching that I paid for on on
But that's what
Periscope,
they're
and you
doing.
watching it. No, I know. I said I can understand that because
Oh,
it's like the
okay.
entire program. Yeah, that whoever it is that you sharing it with didn't pay for it. So, no, you
Right.
know what I mean? That is copyright infringement. But the beautiful thing about Periscope is that your Periscopes go away after a day. So even if by the day,
24
there's no
hours.
way they can scrub a Periscope for anything, that in real time that quickly. Now it's different like when you're on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and say for instance, I'm playing some music that I don't have permission to use. YouTube can flag it, but they'll flag it on the replay. They can't flag it in real time. There's no way.
Right.
They'll flag it and say, hey, do you have
Exactly.
permission, or, blah, 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 whatever, for copyright purposes. But it's hard to do that in real time, and there's going to be no way with all the millions of users on Periscope for them to police that.
Yeah.
Because
You
if,
can't catch
let's
it.
say
Not
Periscope,
much.
let's say Twitter decides they catch me, right? Say Twitter catches me and they disable my account. Who's to say I can't go and get another account? You know what I
This is
mean?
true.
I mean,
They
think
can't
about it.
monitor
You
the
got
world's
copyright.
IP addresses.
People post stuff all the time on social media that they don't have clearance to post.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't know how they
All the
plan
time.
to. I don't know how they plan to wrangle that in, especially when you have people that are part of those shows periscoping. You know what I mean?
And see, and that's the thing. I was also gonna say you have people who are, a big one that does it is, the one with those guys that give away money every week. They stream and scope before the show, during a taping, after all of that, So who's to say they're not breaking their own rules?
They're not breaking their rules because they're doing it within the parameters of the show. That's part of the format. So they, of course, have an unspoken approval to do that because they know that. What I'm saying is, say, for instance, I'm sitting in the audience of American Idol,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or say Paula Abdul is on So You Think You Can Dance, and on the commercial break, she decides to turn around to the audience in Periscope. That ain't necessarily,
Okay.
or one of the dancers backstage decides they want a Periscope. You see what I'm saying? It's not exactly the same. It's not exactly, we gave you permission to do it. The only
Right.
way they can stop that is if they did like the NFL with tweeting. They couldn't tweet 90 minutes because you had people like Chad Johnson, quote unquote, Ocho Cinco, who was tweet during the game. Right? So they
Mm-hmm.
passed a rule that they can't tweet more than any less than 90 minutes before the game. So that's the only thing they can do is say, hey, you can't tweet in real time, or you have to only get like behind the scenes stuff. You can't actually get if you're in the scene shooting and you got somebody periscoping you doing the scene.
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's the only way I could see.
Correct.
But, you know, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to kind of get a handle on that one, honey, baby. And I wonder why they want to come. Meerkat has been around forever. Well, I shouldn't say forever. Yeah. Meerkat has been around a lot longer than Periscope. So why did it come out the Meerkat? People are doing the same thing on Meerkat.
Yeah, but it's not as popular, Kiki. It's like I'd never even heard of Meerkat until after I got on Periscope. I didn't even know about that or the Snap something or whatever else they got going
Snapchat.
on. This has taken that stuff. Excuse me. This has taken over to the point where you got people, celebrities, you got every walk of life on here doing everything, you know, and they do it 24/7. You know, yourself. We can be on Periscope all day if we so chose.
That's why I had to turn my notifications off, because then you got people that are inviting you to stuff. Like, your thing will go off all night. And especially since, say, if you're in a different, if you're a friend with somebody in London and I'm on the East Coast, they still 5 hours ahead. So it's 5 o'clock in the morning, but 10 o'clock in the morning to them, and they Periscoping. I don't want to. I'm asleep. Leave me the hell alone. So, I mean, I get it. It makes a lot of sense to me, but I don't know how they're going to be able to fix that. I just don't. For those of you guys who just may be joining us, this is Playing Devil's Advocate. I am your host, Miss KiKi, the consummate provocateur, and we are discussing sports and entertainment. So if you want to be a part of our conversation, give us a call at 347-237-5271. Don't forget to press 1 so that we know you're in the queue and you have something you would like to say. Or you can post to our Facebook wall at facebook.com/Playing Devil's Advocate, or you can even send us a tweet at PDA_Miss KiKi, and we'll make sure that your comment gets on air. We also have our interactive chat room. I need to go and check it out and see what's going on in the chat room. What's up? Our incredible invisible intern is in there, I see. And our repeat offender of the year, what's up? Are they all in there, hanging in there? So we see you guys. Yeah, nice. Andreas.
Yes. Yes,
hello?
I'm here. What's up? Hello.
Can you tell us what you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Mr. Josh Smith. Oh, woe is me, Mr. Josh Smith. Woe is me. You know about Josh, don't you?
Enlighten us.
Well, you know, this cat, he's only going to make $6.9 million this year. So he's just really feeling sorry for himself. He's only making and I want to, you know, if I had $6.9 in my pocket right now, I'll be happy. This guy is only going to make I'm serious. It's like, dude, for real?
$6.9.
You have to, this guy, I mean, you know, he's like the Donald
What
Trump
was he making before, though? What was he making before?
13.5. Was it 15.9? Wait a minute. I don't want to become a liar now. I don't want to become a liar.
Well, let me just put it to you like this. Let me put it to you like this. If you making $15 an hour and somebody now tells you only making $7 an hour, you gonna have a problem too. And for the person who's making less than you're making, they're going to feel the same way that you feel about him. Oh, woe is me.
Okay, now that's a big difference there. I don't think that analogy fits. That analogy
It does fit. It does fit. You have a lifestyle. It does. You can say it as many times as you want, but I will tell you how it does fit. It fits because you've become accustomed to living a lifestyle that is conducive to $15 an hour. Somebody cuts that in half. Now you're trying to figure out how you're going to live on that. Same thing. If I was making $15 million, my lifestyle is conducive to $15 million. So now, if they cut that in half, now I have to figure out now whether we're talking about the level of extravagance. It's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is taking a pay cut is taking a pay cut when you have a lifestyle that's contingent upon what you're making.
Okay, I still think he's the Donald Trump of the NBA. I still think he's talking a lot of trash because $6.9 million is $6.9 million. A lot of fucking
To
money,
you.
no matter what
To
you were
you.
given before. Oh, to
To
me,
you, because you don't have $6.9 million. If you were, is the point
no, I
is,
don't.
if the point is that $6.9 million is a huge difference when you have a certain other number that you were dealing with. That's huge.
Exactly.
I
That's
get it.
huge.
I get it. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. I still think he's been a crybaby. I see your point, so I'm gonna go with that. I'll go with it. I'm gonna roll with you on that one. I just
You
think
ain't
it's.
gotta do me no favors. Shit, hell. You ain't doing me
I'll
no
go
damn
with it.
favors.
I'll go with it. I will go with it. I just think that it's just like, damn, really, dude? You know, but hey, I get
Okay.
you.
I don't either. I mean, it's like I said, to us it may not seem a whole lot, but for somebody that's making $25 an hour and you take a job that pays you 10, the person that's making 750 is looking at you like, shut the fuck up. Quit whining.
Mm-hmm.
Try to live off of what I live off of.
Ooh. Right.
Exactly. And I think
Right.
that's the big difference right there is, you know, the lifestyle you're accustomed to. If you're accustomed to, like you said, that 13 million, you know, taking half of that away is taking a lot from you when that's what you're used to having. So it may be a whiny baby move to us, but you know, to him, you took half my pay.
Yeah.
So I understand.
I can only buy
And after
one
Not
mic
taxes,
everybody
this
will.
year. Damn.
and no, and with taxes, he not even making that. You have to
Good point,
understand.
but damn.
So again, it's commiserate with his lifestyle, and I completely get it. Can I relate to it? Not on that level, but I can relate to the fact that I'm like, fuck, I got to try and figure this out now. I'm used to making X, Y, and Z and being able to do blah, blah, blah. And now I won't be able to do, I can't make a trip every month. Now I can do a trip every other month. I can't spend 25 grand, or maybe now I got to only have 4 bitches on the side as opposed to my customary 10. You know what I mean?
As opposed to 6. Okay.
So
Gotta compromise. He has to budget.
right now he has to budget. Well, speaking of bitches on the side.
Uh-oh. Come on,
Y'all
man.
know I wrote this book, right? Y'all see this?
Oh,
Yellow
you
Rubber
mean,
Code of Conduct.
yeah, I know. I know that one.
Right.
Uh-huh. What had
Okay,
happened
about
was,
2 weeks ago, right? About 2 weeks ago, there's this former football player. His name is Buster Barnett. He used to play for the Buffalo
you
Bills
naming names.
way back in the day, because this is news. Way back in the day. I shouldn't say, well, let's say he was drafted in 1981. So y'all can pretty much guess how old he is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had a mistress. And the mistress spazzed out and kidnapped his wife, killed her, and killed herself after taking the police on a chase on the freeway from Georgia to Alabama.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Now, this woman had she had a restraining order out on her. She was on, I think, probation or something for kidnapping her own kid, because she lost custody of her child and brought the child over state lines. So there was a warrant for her at some point in Texas. So she, did whatever she had to do over there. So now she was back in Georgia. And so she got upset because Mr. Barnett decided he was going to take his wife on a trip. She was mad that she didn't know nothing about the trip, and so she decided, I'm going to kidnap the wife. The wife was a school teacher. She was a special needs teacher. And kidnapped her, took her on a chase with the police behind her. Once they got to, they were over the Alabama line, pulled out the gun, shot her, and then killed herself. Now, Mr. Buster Barnett, it is a tragedy that you have lost your wife, but you could have fixed that shit. You ain't got nobody to blame for that shit but yourself. One, if you read my book, that bitch wouldn't even know what your wife looked like.
His picker was off.
She
What
wouldn't
you
know
always
where
tell
she
me?
lived. She wouldn't know where she lived, worked. She wouldn't know none of that shit.
Not
But
enough.
clearly, you let your worlds collide to the point where this woman was able to come and kidnap your wife and kill her and kill herself. And you knew she was off because there was you had a restraining order against this chick. So clearly you knew something was, thank you.
You were very
Was
clear.
he still hitting it after he filed that restraining order against her? Do you think he was still hitting it? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
In
what
any
the situation
event,
was.
it's still fucked up.
Yeah. No matter how you look at it, the reality of the situation is this woman was 58 years old and was murdered by your 49-year-old mistress because she was off her meds, clearly. You know? And I was like, this is just flipping insane. It was all over the news because they had an Amber Alert at one point, like a couple of weeks before this, because, like I said, she had kidnapped her own kid. So it was like, how she get back here to do all this and kill somebody and commit suicide? It was a murder suicide is beyond me.
Now you say she lost her children. She lost her children to the courts. So we already know she's a fucking nut job. We know that she's a nut job. He knew that. Man, his picker was off. Isn't that what you always say? Your picker's off.
I do say that your picker is off, but I also in the book tell you how to know if you should even engage with that person if you don't have the other woman on the side. And if you can say no or tick off any of these things and they don't match up, then that's not the one you need to do with. And clearly, he didn't read the book, so he don't know who he's supposed to be messing with. You know, it's just so sad. I mean, I watch it all the time. I know this is kind of sports related as well. This just a couple days ago, this lady and her husband were at the Atlanta Braves game, right? And she's sitting next to her husband, all snuggled up to her husband, and apparently they're season ticket holders. And, you know, when you season ticket holders in the sports, arena, you pretty much get to know the people around you because you're sitting around them all the time. So you get to know who's husband, who's wife, where they live, blah, blah, blah. You know the ins and outs. Well, she's sitting on her phone texting her boo thing while she's sitting there snuggled up to her husband on the at the game. And so the ladies that were sitting behind her with some sisters, they were some sisters sitting behind them, they're reading her texts. She has the dude's name as Nancy or some shit in her phone, but she refers to him by his name in the text messages. So they're taking screenshots of her texting her boo thing, and then they slip her husband a note on the way out. So the wife gets up, he lets her walk up the stairs, he walks out, and then since they're behind him, they come out behind him. They slip him a note when he coming past, and on the note it says, your wife is cheating on you. Check her phone messages under Nancy, but his name is really blah, 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 and here's my number if you need the screenshots.
Wow.
Yeah, Andreas, I can see Andreas' mouth is wide open.
Yes. Girl, I saw that. I fell out.
So about 30 minutes later, he then texts the lady saying, hey, this is the guy you slipped the note to at the game. Can you send me those screenshots, please? So this bitch was trying to lie her way out of it. Right? Because they were like, if she deletes it, if you look and she has already deleted, we had a screenshot.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. I said that was some high-tech bullshit right there.
This $9.99 on iTunes to buy the other woman code of contact. $9.99. That would save you a whole lot of headache. You know better. You know better.
That was wild.
You sitting there texting this dude talking about how you gonna be laying naked and doing all this other. I mean, you sexting. You ain't just texting. Like, hey, what you doing? I'm at the game with my husband. No, you sexting. Talk about how you love him and all that other stuff. That's another no according to the code. But it's whatever. This is, like I said, it was kind of sports related because it happened at the Atlanta Braves game. But I'm just saying the ridiculousness of this guy cheating on his wife. You 58 years, 59 years old. You've been with this woman all this time, and now you want to cheat on her with some crazy chick that has now cost her, your wife, her life. And this chick over here at the game, clearly you spend quality time with your dude, because he done took you to the game. He could have took any one of his boys with him to the game. But he's taking you.
He took your cheating ass.
And clearly they know you enough. You've been there enough, because the other season ticket holders know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So clearly he spends some kind of time with you, but you gonna sit there and text this other dude. I mean, I give her a little credit that she put it under a different name. I give her a little credit that she put it under Nancy. But it's still kind of dumb, the type of texting, the type of messages that you're sending. Because even if he looks at Nancy's
But to be sitting right next to him and doing some shit like that, that's jacked up in the first place.
She has no respect. She has no respect.
The hell with who watching me behind me. Watching, being nosy and fucking up. But you sitting right next to me,
I'm sure she never
and you on some
anticipated
bullshit like that?
I'm sure she never anticipated. But see, here's the thing. That just kind of shows the relationship that they have. That she's probably on her phone a lot, so he didn't even think nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? He probably didn't think nothing of it, because that's probably just the nature of how she gets down. So he's like, oh, she on that goddamn phone again. I'm at the game. Right. So unbeknownst to him, she's sitting right next to him. Dirty. I mean, that's just dirty as hell. Dirty as hell. But whatever. I'm like, why the hell you just didn't let him go to the game with his boys, and then while he's at the game, you go be with your boo thing? You know what I mean? But you don't be at the game with your husband sexting your boo thing, dumbass.
Right, because there was
dumbass.
Hey, KiKi, do we still have that? This just in button?
Oh. I believe we may. Wait, you need me to play it?
I just saw something. Yeah, because I just saw something that just hurt my eyes, and I'm mad that I even read it.
Okay, well, I'll play this just in.
So, this just in.
Hot off the presses.
Rapper, KiKi says he's running for mayor of Chicago.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
I just saw it, and what in the entire fuck is wrong with this? I'm running for mayor of Chicago.
Why not?
It'll be the best thing yet. Y'all gonna love me in the office. So now I gotta twerk to get a bill passed up in this bitch? What the fuck? No.
I saw that, and I declined to even give it life. I was like, I'm not gonna talk about this shit. I'm not gonna do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Sorry. I mean, but here's the thing. Hell, go ahead, Andrea.
But can you just imagine now all those sagging pants goofball motherfuckers are gonna actually register to vote? All those raggedy goofball pants sagging whatever are gonna go out and vote. I bet you bottom dollar on that one. They are going to be out there organizing.
No, they might can organize, but them mofos won't be registering to vote because they're probably felons and cannot.
Oh dear God!
I'm like, his demographic is the highly incarcerated group of people. So like, they're not gonna be able to vote for you, and my demographic damn sure ain't gonna vote for you. So who gonna vote for you?
Can you imagine someone coming up to you? Can you imagine that? Someone coming up and saying, you know, hey, I'm organizing for Chief Keef, and we're out in the community, and he's for you, and what would you say? Like, get the fuck away from me. I mean, can you just imagine that happening? I mean, honestly.
I can't imagine it happening.
I'll just ignore it.
He won't win.
No. I mean, but
what
here's
they
the
gonna
thing.
do? Have a turn up and serve real food in Cook County? Jail? What?
Let me play devil's advocate on this one a little bit. Let me play devil's advocate on this one a little bit. Let me play devil's advocate on this one a little bit. Let me play devil's advocate on this one a little bit. Let me play devil's advocate on this one a little bit.
Mm.
Here's the thing. We may think it's a ridiculous idea for this particular person to run for mayor and that it's just a clown show waiting to happen. But the reality of the situation is that if the state of affairs is that bad in the city of Chicago, that this dude feels like he can do a better job than Rahm Emanuel, that speaks volumes. Now, whether he can do it or not
Yeah.
is another story. But that just says that this guy is doing such a piss poor job in this major city that this guy will consider running for mayor. I just had this conversation with my sister the other day. I was like, do I need to come back home and run for mayor? Really? But y'all know I can't do the heat. I mean, I can't do the cold. It's just, but yeah, I'm like, do I need to come back and run for mayor?
Hell, if that's the case, I'll run for mayor. Does Daley have any
Go
of
ahead.
age children?
I'm sure he probably does.
He needs to put one of his family members back in office, because I know the fuck shit that they'll do. I'm used to the brand of bullshit, and he ran Crook County very well.
Well, you know, we all know it's a political machine. We know it is pretty much just figureheads. When it comes to that, there's an underlying what do you call it, entity that keeps that city moving, right? You know, it's called the city that never sleeps. And why? Because bad shit happen at night. While y'all sleeping, the motherfucking criminal element is up making shit happen. So it's just a matter of changing the culture. It's been like that for decades. I don't know how you're going to change the culture. The one person that you did get to come in and change the culture just for the short amount of time mysteriously died of a heart attack. And I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Oh, y'all hear the dog barking?
Yes, I hear the dog.
On that note, it's time for our drink of the week. I'll just do it that way.
I was going to say I'm thirsty.
I think I need a drink myself, especially since the dog is doing his thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our producer's drink of the week. And if you have not checked it out, you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate and click the link, find out all about it. It's kind of yummy looking. I actually like this week's drink. So I'll let her tell you about it because can nobody do it like she does. Ladies and gentlemen, Cousin Chan.
Hey everybody, tonight's drink of the week is called Beer Station. Tonight's drink of the week, we're going to use 3 ounces of beer, 1.5 ounce of gin, 1 ounce of lemon juice, and 1 ounce of honey. And what we're going to do with this is add the gin, lemon juice, and honey in a shaker filled with ice, shake and strain into a small glass with ice, and then top it off with the beer and garnish with a lemon. And there you have it, Beer Station. All right, guys, be safe, enjoy, drink responsibly. I'll see you next week.
And she does it again, ladies and gentlemen.
Good stuff.
She said honey and gin, and she kind of did that one. I'm just saying.
I like.
I agree. Let me go ahead and get some more of this stuff going. Okay, so we talked about Buster Barnett, mistress killing his wife. We talked about LaShawn McCoy and his quote-unquote private party. Y'all know I'm all about the sports, so I could go on with sports all day long. But I'm gonna bring this one up. Everybody is up in arms about Hulk Hogan. They're talking about he had this racist rant, about, like using the N-word or whatever. So much so that the WWE has totally like distanced themselves from him. They removed him from the pages. They've taken him out of the Hall of Fame. All of this stuff for using the N-word. And I read the transcript of the audio or whatever, and in context, if you take the thing in context, I'm not upset. In context, do you know what he said? Huh?
No.
Okay. So let me pull up the transcript so I could tell y'all exactly what was said. Because in context, I don't think that there was anything wrong. He was upset. You know, he said nothing that we haven't said before in our own conversation. So I can't see. I mean,
Okay.
everybody's so extra sensitive about the N word, and it's just insane to me. What happened was, he did okay. He got somebody did a sex tape on him, right? And they're threatening to release. They released bits and pieces of the sex tape. So during
Okay.
this whole sex tape thing, he uh, he decided to sue because he said he didn't give permission for them to release this tape or whatever, right? So he's suing Gawker online for like $100 million for that. Now, in doing
Okay.
so, the tape now becomes part of the case, and on the tape, he has been quoted as saying about his daughter Brooke. She's making some real bad decisions now. My daughter Brooke jumped sides on me. I spent 2 to 3 million on her music career. I've done everything like
Mhm.
a jackass for her. The one option Brooke's career besides me is to sell beach records, right? And then he
Mhm.
said he was talking about this quote unquote black billionaire guy that tried to help her with her career or whatever. He said, I don't know if Brooke was fucking the black guy's son. I mean, I don't have double standards. I mean, I'm a racist to a point, fucking niggers. But then when it comes to nice people and shit and whatever, and then he says, I mean, I'd rather if she was gonna fuck some nigga, I'd rather her marry a 8 foot tall nigga with worth $100 million, like a basketball player. Who ain't said that? Who's never said that? Right? What white man on
I'm
this
not
planet has
offended.
never said that about their wives? I'm not offended by that. If your daughter is doing some fuck shit, right? And
Mhm.
you like, if you gonna fuck with somebody, you fuck with somebody with some money. Don't fuck with nobody that can't do shit for you.
Right.
And he clearly said,
Don't fuck
I'm
for
a
free.
racist to a point. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Don't fuck for free. He clearly said I'm racist to a point. Honesty, we are racist to a point. And he said not when it comes to nice people and good people and blah, blah, blah. But basically what he said is this some nigga shit. And that's what we say too. So I don't understand why everybody's up in arms and why everybody want to have him basically erased from the planet and sent off to, Mars to live or some shit. I don't understand. I don't understand.
I
Is it
mean, my
is it
whole thought. No, my thing is, I've heard worse by better is pretty much my response to that because, you know, like you said, we're all racist to a certain degree, period. And I get so tired of it being taken so far to the extreme. Okay, granted, this is something that he wasn't. The conversations we have about people nigger this or that we don't expect it to be on Twitter or TMZ or CNN the next day, and neither did he. Everybody's going to say something some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So now you're going to rip him
Mhm.
out of all of the stuff that he's done in his career. That doesn't negate that he did those things.
It has
He
absolutely
made you
nothing to
people
do,
money.
right? Right. Here's the thing.
He
Him
made
being
you
a racist
niggas
has
money.
nothing.
The fuck?
Thank you. Him having nothing, and you can almost ask any quote unquote nigga that grew up in the 80s who their favorite fucking wrestler was, and they gonna say Hulk Hogan, right? He's the
Mine
most
was too.
notable wrestler. That's what I'm saying. He's the most notable wrestler of his time. Him making that comment,
Hmm.
does that erase he's done? Absolutely not. And you're absolutely right. He was having that in a private moment. The fact that somebody took that private moment and decided to make it public, unbeknownst to him,
Mhm.
is unfair for us to be judging him. And furthermore, you're only judging him based on a snippet. You understand what I'm saying? You only
Right.
basing that on a snippet. Does he have a history of racist behavior? This man was upset
That's like me
about his
saying,
daughter is
well, his purpose, whatever his purpose was, Kiki, it wasn't for it to be, all of this to backlash on him. That's just as bad as me saying, you know, Andreas is a white racist bastard, and so now I'm kicked off the show. You're going to erase everything that says sporty. I can no longer call myself Sporty Spunky Angel, and I no longer exist because I called him a horrible, derogatory, racist name on the air. The hell?
But here's the thing. On air, that's a public forum. Now, if you and I were on FaceTime and I happen to be recording this thing and then I want to release it, that's something different. Yeah, did you have an expectation of privacy? Because we were having, you see what I'm saying? We were having a one-on-one
it's a private conversation.
My point is this. People, you got to stop making everything racist. This was not, clearly not a racist rant. So stop saying it. Did he drop the N-word? Absolutely. Was he making the issue about black people? No. He was making an issue about his daughter's poor decisions. And y'all are getting the message all convoluted. You got the game fucked up. He was not talking about black people in that sense. He was actually frustrated and venting about the poor choices that his daughter is making. You know, would people who are quote unquote white trash be upset if he were referring to them as, you know, what they call it, PWT? Would he, you know what I'm saying? If he was, would they be upset, up in arms? I know people are going to say it's not the same because the word, the derivative of the word, where it came from, blah, blah, blah. But the reality of the situation is, in context, it wasn't about black people. In context, it was about the poor decisions that his white daughter has been making. So stop making a big deal out of nothing. And for the WWE to just totally erase his ass from everything like he totally fucking doesn't exist, I think is absolutely insane. It is. I know they're trying to get from behind the 8 ball and do what's politically correct, but if you look at their history of how they stereotype black people in the WWE, when it used to be the WWF and all of that, really, what makes it worse? That he just outright used the N-word, but you just perpetuated stereotypes? You're better than him somehow? I think it's ridiculous. That's just me. I know people are going to be upset about it. Like, hey, that's not right or whatever, but fuck it.
Well, that's how they going to have to fucking feel, because I think it's stupid. That's like me being upset, and I know this is going to sound so crazy, but, you know, as a teenager, I found out wrestling was fake. I was upset.
You were more upset about that than his racist rant?
Yes. I stopped watching wrestling for the rest of my days. I haven't watched wrestling since I was 16 years old because I thought Macho Man had really hurt Hulk Hogan, and he was my favorite person. And when my brothers came and told me it's not real, upset.
Girl, upset. My favorites were Von Erichs. All of them. The Von Erichs.
Oh, yes. I like Eric Von Erich was my boy.
I ain't gonna tell how old I am, so we need to move on.
Yes.
But I just want to say to all those people who are bashing. I just want to say to all those people who are bashing Hulk Hogan, get your thumb out your ass. Stop it. Knock it off. It wasn't that bad. Take it in context. He was upset about decisions that his daughter was making, and it's the same situation you would have been in as a black person if you've done everything for your child and they get mixed up with some damn knuckleheads, and you would be venting about them. So there it is. Who wants the story? Who want another one?
Let's talk about Serena Williams, girl. So,
what about her?
Serena Williams wins this 20th Slam French Open title. Why are they giving her so much bullshit because she won? Let the woman have her title. You know, you have people upset because she won, and, you know, they want to make, you know, comments about it. You know, it's like
you need to be a little bit more specific. Yeah, you said they making comments. What kind of comments are they making?
Comments like she was she hitting people and being loud with the referees and being overly demanding, and they were scared, so they didn't call some points, and that's how she wound up winning. The girl didn't cheat, you know, she did what she was supposed to do. She knows how to play the game. You know, she's a professional. And, you know, them to always have comments about, well, how she looks as a woman and what she's wearing, and she's a man, you know, all kind of dumb shit because she's being,
haters.
You know, an athlete, which is what she is.
Can you hear me
I
okay?
didn't appreciate it. I was very upset.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you off in and out. You're intermittent, but I can hear you for the most part. But it's breaking up a lot.
Okay, talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves while I
Okay.
fix that.
Intermittent. That
But what
was
do
a
you
great
think
man.
about
That was
that?
a long word. Intermittent. You went to private school, didn't
I got something private for you already because I don't want to call you names on the air. So, what do you think about Serena Williams, Andrea?
What do I think about Serena? You really want to know?
Yeah, go ahead and tell me as appropriately as you can.
I
See,
think
you
that
gonna laugh.
she is. No, I honestly think that Serena is. Oh my God! Oh Lord, good Lord, have mercy on my soul. I
Are you
think that she
speechless?
is. I am. I think that she has got to be the best female athlete that I've ever seen. I mean, she's a specimen. I mean, it just makes no damn sense.
Yeah, I want to be
She's
her
a
when I'm big.
specimen.
Is It's
When
like
you
you
grow
look
up,
at her and when she's
Bucky.
playing, and it's like, damn,
It's
oh my
beast mode. She's
God.
out there beast mode on that court. And
Mm.
I think that all those people are just haters, period. You know how most people are talking about, folks are haters and it's like, why do you have these imaginary haters? Just because somebody don't like something that you're doing that makes you a hater, right? Everybody always like, they're a hater. I got all these haters.
mm-hmm,
No, you don't have no haters because you ain't doing shit. She actually has
right,
haters. There are people, those are
Yeah.
actual haters because there's no reason for you to have anything negative to say about her. She's physically
exactly.
where she's supposed to be. She's at the top of her game. She does, it's like you just knock it off. You just don't want to see her do well. And speaking of female athletes, y'all know
Yes.
that the Arizona Cardinals, as of Monday, hired a female linebackers coach. She's as an
Yes.
intern. And so her name is Jen. Excuse me, I'm choking over here. Her name is Jen Welter, and she's played professional football as well, and she actually played on a all-male team, and she was a running back. So she's been playing for a very long time, and so now she's the linebacker coach for the Arizona Cardinals, and she's what's known to be the first female coach in the NFL. I'm really excited about it. She's only
Me
39 years
too.
old. She's a doctor of psychology. I'm just really excited. It'll be interesting to see how it all works out. It'll be interesting to see the dynamic of her dealing with these men on a day-to-day basis at this level. It's different when it's an
Mm-hmm.
indoor league or an arena league or whatever case, but dealing with the personalities in this situation when it comes to the NFL will be quite interesting to see how it goes. But like I said, it's an intern position, and I'm just excited to see what she does.
I
I'm
think
just
she's gonna
excited
do
to see what
great.
she.
But Kiki,
There are
while we're what were you gonna say?
Go ahead, Sporty. No, go ahead, baby.
No, I was gonna say, Kiki, while we're talking football, can we go ahead and address the elephant in the room?
Tom Brady.
Yes.
Everybody knows I love Tom Brady, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's just break it down. Back when the Patriots were going for their championship win this year, they played the Indianapolis Colts, and there's this thing called Deflategate, where they're saying that Tom Brady knew more than likely than not that there was something going on with the levels of the air in the balls. Now, here's my thing. One, everybody always wants to say that the Patriots are cheaters, blah, 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 based on that whole thing that happened with the Jets a few years back, right? But here's my thing.
Right.
I would be more inclined to think that this may be true if they didn't whoop Indiana's ass so bad. It would have been different if it was a close game, right? And it was kind of like the difference between their balls being not filled up enough and these balls being overfilled or whatever. If it were a case where it was close down to that, but they whooped Indianapolis ass. So it clearly was not about it's clearly not about the what do
I'm
you call
not
it?
sure. I can't hear you
Them trying to
anymore.
get the advantage. Them getting. Andreas, can you hear me? Can nobody
Okay,
hear me?
so, well, I can't hear
Nobody,
you.
can you hear me?
I heard me. So that's you.
Keep talking.
Oh, okay. Well, like you were saying, there's a lot. I think he should fight for. Go ahead, Andreas.
No, screw that. No, fuck that. I honestly feel this way. This man, I mean, he stole the damn Super Bowl. It
No, he
was
didn't.
stolen. I mean, I don't. You shaking
Okay,
your head, no.
I would be.
I don't.
I am.
I see. I
I would be
see.
inclined to listen to your argument if you knew anything about football. So you wouldn't know whether he stole it or not. And
I heard it this morning on talk radio.
I
He
heard.
stole the Super Bowl.
I heard. Yo, hush your face. You don't even know what
But
you're
he
talking
cheated.
about.
He cheated. You don't think he
He
cheated?
did not cheat. He does not fill up the damn balls. He didn't fill up the balls. That
Then
is
why
not
did
his
he destroy
responsibility.
his darn phone? Why did he destroy his
Okay,
phone? Incriminating evidence.
hold on. Let's just dig into the meat and potatoes to all of this. His attorney advised him that he didn't need to turn over it. They asked him for everything. They gave him everything. After that, then he going on ahead and changed phones. Now, the reality of the situation is, let's be clear about the succession of events here, because you listening to talk radio and they gonna tell you bits and pieces that's gonna lean you to their point of view. The reality of the situation is, the original determination for him to be suspended was not about that goddamn cell phone. That's something that came after the fact that now Goodell is trying to use to uphold his reason for keeping that up. Okay, so let's be clear about that. The cell phone shit wasn't nothing about that. That whole entire report, I have the entire report that Mr. Wells turned in. I have it. There was nothing about that goddamn cell phone in that report. So, if you want to say Roger Goodell after the fact, you've given him the suspension, he appeals it, and you find some extra information that now you want to say, oh, well, this is why I want to uphold it. This is the only thing that you have to uphold it. Then you really don't have shit. That's all I'm saying. Stop making.
So he got suspended for 4 games because, I mean, there's just really no substance to this. There's no meat and potatoes to this. That's why he was suspended for 4 games. I think that he ought to be suspended for the whole damn season. I feel like he cheated. Well, so you're telling me that these balls are not
supposed to be. I feel like he cheated. This ain't about feel. This ain't about feeling.
I need to understand, but the ball is supposed to be inflated to a certain they have to be inflated to certain pounds per square inch. Am I correct? This is where it's supposed. This is regulation. Am I correct? So if they were not, and he instructed the people that fill up the damn balls not to fill up the balls.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem with that, Andreas. They have no evidence that he did that. That's what I'm saying to you. That's why in the report. Hold on. Because I read the fucking report. I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. You're going off of what you heard. I'm telling you what I read in the report. What I'm saying to you is they do not have any evidence that he instructed anyone to do anything. That's why in the report, the wording is such that he is more likely than not, that he more likely than not had knowledge. So you're saying you don't even know he had knowledge.
How did it come out?
So if you're not even sure, hold on. If you have no idea that he had knowledge, then how can you say he instructed somebody to do something? That's my point. One thing. The second thing is,
and see, and here's the other. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what you're going to have to realize also, Andreas, is that the facts of the case is what has to be dealt with, not what people feel and think. The fact is they don't have physical evidence to prove that he knew about anything. The fact is he didn't physically do it himself. The fact is that they need to have physical proof to prove that it was done, and they don't have that. Now they're slinging around this 4 game.
The other fact is, though, is that the referees, the officials who sign those balls to say it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
they test them. They're not even testing them with the same meter. So this this official that's testing these balls over here, and this official is testing these balls over here with another meter, they may not even be calibrated the same. So you may be getting different measurements from each flipping official. That's the first thing, right? Then you have the second thing is that you have officials who signed off on the ball, just like when you go and you boxing and they wrap your hands and they do all of that, and the referee has to come in and inspect that shit and sign your damn wraps to say that, yes, we approve that these are legal. Same thing with them damn balls. So if those officials signed off on that ball, how the fuck is it his? It went through a whole bunch of people's hands before it even got to Tom Brady. But he's the one that's being penalized for it. My issue is, if you did it and you can prove that he did it, then give him the 4 fucking games, whatever. Just do whatever it is that you need to do. But if you cannot, you can't just arbitrarily make up shit as you go along, because you don't want to lose face.
Scapegoat.
Right, and you don't want to lose face. And here's the problem with this: there is a collective bargaining agreement. The problem with it is that what are you over there doing, Sporty?
Sorry.
The problem is that Roger Goodell has pretty much autonomy to do whatever the fuck that he wants to do. And there's no system of checks and balances when it comes to this man. He can wield his problems out, his power all willy-nilly. But the beautiful thing about it is that Tom Brady they had authorized them to do a settlement just to get this shit over with and say cut it to 50%. So it would have been 2 games. Before the NFL even went to say, okay, yay or nay, we decline, Roger Goodell said, nope, I'm opposing everything. He never even looked at the damn agreement for the settlement.
See,
right? So you don't even go through the proper process on that. That's my